everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. It's Tuesday, and the patch notes for patch 9.13 have been posted, and that means it's time for another patch note rundown. As always, I'm going to go through the biggest changes in this week's patch, and letting you guys know what you can be looking forward to in the coming weeks. Now, 9.13 has all these balance changes and, pro play stuff. Who really cares? Teamfight Tactics is in 9.13. Now, to be clear, it is still in beta, so there will be bugs, there will likely be things change, and there is still stuff that is completely and utterly broken in Teamfight Tactics. However, it will be publicly available to all players, not just PvE players now. So, I'm personally expecting the servers to crash tomorrow because I don't think it'll handle the load of people trying to play Teamfight Tactics, but at the very least, it is going to be live. Everyone will be able to try it out, and I'm excited. I'm a little bit interested to see how this is going to play out, so we'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, and by the way, Qiyana, you remember that champion they announced towards the, couple weeks ago, and we were not really that excited about her? She's going to be in this patch too. I guess I'll play her. She seems like she's going to be an okay champion to kind of play around with and see how fun she is. I expect most people will be playing Teamfight Tactics, but if you've been excited for Qiyana, she will be in this patch as well, so you can look forward to seeing her on the Rift in the coming weeks. Moving on to some actual balance changes here. First and foremost, wanted to talk about the Alawi changes here. Now, most of these are just sort of modernization changes to make it so that Alawi feels a little bit better about what she's doing, and it doesn't feel so awkward and wonky to get her to do what you want her to do. First and foremost, Prophet of an Elder God got a slew of quality of life changes. Tentacles now despawn if Alawi's left the area for 30 seconds, and enemies only gain vision of tentacles from 1000 range. However, enemy champions don't globally get vision of attacking tentacles, and tentacles don't go into an idle state anymore when Alawi's not around. So enemies will have no idea if Alawi is still in lane, if she's left lane, what's going on with her tentacles. So that's really nice. Harsh Lesson now has a minimum damage, which is dealt as bonus damage to towers, so Alawi will be able to lay the hurt on some towers pretty decently. And Test of Spirit got a couple of changes here. The Spirit duration is no longer reduced every time she gets damaged by the target, which is a huge buff to Alawi because it really means she can keep wailing away on both the Spirit and the Vessel and get a bunch of damage down, a bunch of healing down. However, the base Spirit duration was lowered to 7 seconds, and the base Vessel duration was lowered to 10 seconds. Now, that means she has less time to kill the spirit to make them into a vessel, and it means that you'll spend less time as a vessel. However, there also is a reduction in the time between tentacle attacks down to 3 seconds at level 13, which really means that Alawi in these late game team fights, when she lands that massive leap of faith, tentacles are going to be slamming even if she's not telling them to do it with Harsh Lesson. So she's going to get a ton of damage down in teamfights now if she's able to play this properly and get the big leap of faith. And speaking of big leap of faith, you can now get a maximum of 6 tentacles in order to be the 1 spirit plus the 5 enemy team members, and tentacles no longer despawn mid-attack if she commands them to slam with Harsh Lesson. So what that means is that if they would expire because the duration of the ultimate is wearing off and she got 1 more W off, they won't just disappear in the middle of that. They will still get that last slam. Or if she dies, for example, they will still get that last slam. So again, that really is going to improve how much damage Alawi can do in team fights. I think this is generally a net buff to Alawi, so if you're playing this champion, you are pretty happy with these changes. If you're not much of an Alawi player and you really hate that champion, sorry to hear it, but she's going to get buffed. Karma is receiving a very small nerf on this patch. She had room for some power, but Riot went way too hard, and she just is back to being meta with just those couple of small changes. So they're pulling back a little bit. The movement speed duration on her E is going down to 1.5 seconds from 2.5 seconds, so it'll make it a little harder for Karma and her friends to run to safety. The empowered E duration, however, is still 2.5 seconds, so as long as you're pressing RE, you'll still get that bonus movement speed for the full duration. Pyke is getting a couple other changes on this patch as well. I know it's kind of a meme at this point, and everyone thinks, wow, Riot really doesn't want Pyke to ever see play in the solo lane. The problem is not Pyke in the solo lane. The problem is that Pyke in the solo lane has so many advantages and does so many things well that it makes it very hard for him to have any weakness. It's sort of the question of why would you play Pyke as a support when you could just play him in a solo lane and be better than almost every other assassin. So most of these nerfs are targeted at his wave clear because the issue with him is he's so hard to harass to death. So if he gets ahead, he just runs at you and kills you, and it doesn't matter if he takes any damage and fails an attempt and takes some damage because he just heals it back with his passive. So these are changes designed to reduce his wave clear, so at the very least you can shove him in. Bone Skewer is now single target. It hits only the nearest unit, preferring the nearest champion. So he can't stab multiple minions all at the same time. The cooldown was reduced at early ranks in order to make it a little bit better, but that's a huge nerf to solo lane Pyke. Ghost Water Dive's movement speed, it now scales up with the rank, so hopefully that'll make him a little bit better at roaming. And Phantom Undertow no longer damages non-champions. Now, this is just a kneecapping to solo lane Pyke. I don't think you can play him in a solo lane anymore because his wave clear is non-existent now. He can't E the wave, he can't Q the wave. The only thing he can do is auto-attack it with a Tiamat. So, solo lane Pyke is dead, 100%. You might still be able to play him in the jungle because a lot of times that's more about focusing down individual monsters, but solo lane Pyke is completely gone. Sorry, it's out of here. Sejuani's also receiving a nerf on this patch. Riot very slightly buffed her over a couple of patches and said, okay, we think she's in a good spot, and then all of the pros started playing her constantly, which means she's back to being broken, so we have to nerf her again. So her health growth is down to 95 from 105, so it'll make her a little less durable as the game goes on. And Winter's Wrath's second cast damage ratio is down by 0.75% of Sejuani's maximum health. So these are very minor nerfs. I really don't think they're going to do anything to reduce Sejuani's popularity in pro play. I think she's still going to be picked a ton. But at the very least, Riot have kind of realized, hey, we should pull back power slowly, because otherwise if we kneecap her, then they're just going to drop her like a hot potato, and we're going to have a champion that's unplayable again. So, but Sejuani will be nerfed. I don't think it's going to make too much of an effort to her power, but hey, it's there. Sivir is also getting nerfed on this patch. She's really, really strong over the last couple of patches, best AD carry in the game. And these nerfs look light, but it's because Riot are also nerfing Essence Reaver at the exact same time. So they're kind of seeing how that plays out with Sivir before they decide to nerf her further. Her attack damage and mana regen were both tweaked, but that was mostly just to remove decimals, so don't worry about that. The biggest one is Ricochet's mana cost is up to 75 mana from 60 mana, which Sivir's base mana pool is pretty bad, so this means that Sivir has a lot less free wave clear. It's a lot harder for her to just perma-shove the waves into your tower, so hopefully this makes it more expensive on her and means she'll have to be relying more on her spell shield in order to get that mana back and keep the wave pushing. Sona is also getting nerfed on this patch. Now, Riot immediately are saying, we're not trying to nerf bot lane Sona out of existence. We think that's a cool strategy. We like Sona kind of being a bot lane carry in the current meta. But she is still hitting those parameters to be nerfed, regardless of the fact that, you know, so it's not that they're nerfing her because they don't like bottom lane Sona. They're nerfing her because she's too strong in the bottom lane, which is a bit of a difference here. Hymn of Valor's aura damage ratio is down, so she'll be giving out less free damage to everybody nearby and herself. And Song of Solarity's bonus movement speed ratio has also been reduced to 3% movement speed per 100 AP. So this is a pretty small nerf, but it is a meaningful nerf to Sona. She won't be doing as much damage in lane, which, especially given how fast she can get Hymn of Valor, the aura kind of procced, it won't be as meaningful. And Song of Celerity as well, a lot less movement speed means that it's going to be a lot harder for Sona to run away when she does get into problems. So I don't know that this is really going to be enough to completely remove the champion from the bottom lane. I think you still play Sona bot lane, but hopefully it's enough to make it so that it's not just the perma first pick, if it's available, go for it champion. So I'm hoping that's where we get to it. Sylas is getting buffed on this patch. Riot went a little too hard on his nerfs in the last patch. They completely kneecapped him. He was out of the meta entirely. So they're trying to give him some power back. Now, they are looking at him over an extended period of time to try and say, how do we make it so this guy can be played in pro play, but also isn't broken? So these are just sort of in the meantime buffs in order to make him feel a little bit better while they try to assess how they can make him a more healthy champion for professional play. His base AD and health growth were increased. Kingslayer's base damage also went up by a substantial amount at maximum rank, so he'll be doing a lot more damage. And there's just a minor bug fix on Abscond and Abduct. So I don't think this is a big deal for Sylas, but if you're a Sylas main, you will feel a little bit better about playing the guy after he took all of those nerfs. Tristana is also getting some small changes here. Riot are really trying to make it so that she feels more inclined to have an aggressive playstyle as opposed to always holding rocket jump for the escape because she's a hyper carry. I still don't think it's going to be enough because she still has the scaling attack range and is just the best late game AD carry pretty much in the game, so I don't know that it'll matter, but they are trying to incentivize her to actually play a little bit more riskier than usual. Her attack damage growth has gone up, as has her mana and mana regen. These are mostly just small changes, again, like the Sivir changes, just to clean up some weird decimals. Rocket Jump's magic damage has been increased by 10 damage at all ranks, so hopefully it'll incentivize her to play more aggressive. It does make her level 2 all-in significantly stronger. I don't think it's going to be enough to really make it so that she plays aggressively, but definitely keep an eye on Tristana. She will be more popular in the coming weeks. And looking at Udyr here. Udyr now can put 6 points into his abilities starting at level 16. What this means is that if you're Udyr and you're going for Tiger Stance style, you don't need Phoenix Stance. It's completely irrelevant to your playstyle. You're never going to even press your R key. So it feels bad at the later stages of the game that you have to then put points into Phoenix Stance even though you don't want to. This is going to make it so that Udyr can level up the abilities he's actually using and not have to worry so much about whichever stance he's decided he doesn't want to use for his primary damage. Accordingly, all of his abilities now have a 6th damage, a 6th scaling part of them. So it's not really buffs here that we're looking at, except, no, it's not buffs. So it's all just the 6th rank in case you level them up. So it should be just a nice quality of life change for Udyr players, as you now don't feel like you're wasting ability points in the later game. Now, moving on to some item changes. Essence Reaver is the big one here. The problem is that it's very strong and very good and sort of an Infinity Edge replacement, which then doesn't make sense why it's better than Infinity Edge in a lot of ways and why it's cheaper than Infinity Edge. So the gold cost has been increased by 100 and it now builds out of a BF sword, the Caulfield's Warhammer and the Cloak of Agility. So hopefully this makes it so that Essence Reaver is a little bit less of a first buy on a lot of champions and makes it so that Essence Reaver marksmen, such as Sivir for example, aren't just the clear in a way favorite versus Infinity Edge champions. And just real quick, the shop is going to be coming back, so personalized discounts will be available starting on June 28th. Look forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. Now, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. Let me know which changes you're most excited for down in the comment section below. Would love to hear your thoughts. I know I'm excited for the Alawi changes. Also, you know, Teamfight Tactics, that's the thing that's going to be happening. Qiyana, that's the thing that's going to be happening. So pay attention. Let me know which guys you guys are looking forward to in the coming weeks. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and leave a like. And if you really enjoyed today's video, consider subscribing. I upload videos every Monday, Friday, and on patch days like today as well. And if you're looking for more Grab the Lantern content, you can check my blog, just linked down in the description. I upload articles concerning League of Legends, community, professional scene, all sorts of stuff, so go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll talk to you all later.